All right. So as you can see, I am a sports fan. But there is something that's kind of odd about sports fan, and it's something that comes up a lot, is that despite the idea that we lived in this enlightened society that is beyond the grasp of religion or faith or silly ideas like that, we actually live in an incredibly deeply superstitious society still. The only difference is we've kind of cordoned it off into specific realms where even the most deeply avowed atheist, the most pious religious person, both agree that if you wear your lucky jersey on Sunday, your team is going to win, or that you do there's advertising based off this idea for the entire season of everything. But I mean, pitchers with their winds and batters with their wind-ups and stuff, that they're insanely predisposed, I guess, maybe, towards the idea that if you do this in or that in this arbitrary way, or if I watch, then they're going to lose, but if I don't watch, then they're going to win, or just things like that, that if I cross my fingers and toes, and I mean, we just get really invested, I guess, is kind of what we're getting at, is we're getting really invested, and we appropriate the actions on this field with our identity, which is weird enough. But the fact that I, as a spectator, watching on TV, or just even catching clips and highlights while I'm on my breaks at work or whatever, I'm convinced that somehow that can affect the outcome of the game. And it's one thing when you're a spectator in the stands, and I mean, you can make noise, you can get rowdy and stuff, and that can create kind of an atmosphere that'll disrupt performance on the field. But when you're miles away, like for me, I mean, I live some 200 miles away from the stadium where my team plays. It's home games, like, and yet people are like, "Hey, your team beat this other team. Thanks." I'm like, "What? Like, what do you think that I did? What effect do you think that I had on the game? Do you think that because I was hoping that this would happen? Are you thinking that because what? Like, if you think about it even 1 inch lower than the surface, it becomes extraordinarily absurd. And yet, that's what's strange, right? It seems that even though Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, some of these would have you believe that now we're beyond the reach as a society, that Christianity and large kind of institutional faiths are declining, and secularism is supposedly surging, that eventually we will be in this place where we are no longer given to petty, silly superstitions. And I don't see that. Not only do I not see that first off, statistics don't really demonstrate that. Like, of course, secularism is increasing, I think, because it's kind of popular right now. It's kind of sexy. But if you look at England, for instance, for one, I mean, it's just actually started kind of plateau off, and that the decline of Christianity in kind of specific, has started to level off as well. It's no longer like the Church of England is still struggling, but like the Assemblies of God, the Southern Baptists, like they're doing quite a bit better than they had been before. So I think that in some ways secularism's kind of bought its own PR. But I think that even let's go with the worst case scenario for a theist, and that theism is going to, as a society, it's going to reach, I don't know what marginal case would be, 25%, 15%. Let's say it goes all the way down to 5%. Let's go like as far as society, 5%. Do you really believe that superstition is going to go away? No. In fact, the more I think that decline occurs, that there's going to be an increase in things like sporting events on Sundays. And with that increase, you're going to see even more ritualism, even more, an ironic kind of blending twist, secularism or skepticism and kind of the Wicca / New Age movement practically walk hand in hand. That you will see Bible bookstores closing across the country and then being replaced by crystal shops and essential oils, right? Just these things that it's just, I guess what I'm getting at is, even though there is a little bit of a cultural dispute going on about what to believe in or what not to believe in, the idea that belief itself and faith and kind of this arbitrary selection of superstition is not going anywhere. And I don't think that it's good for society. I don't think that that's a good thing, but that superstition takes these kind of forms because it gives this, like, but I think it's that the religious aspects of superstition are declining, but the society's obsession with superstition is only increasing. It's just finding new ways to manifest itself. That's kind of what I'm getting at.